Why, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the AfterShock EpiCenter live stream. I'm your host and the Senior Retailer Relations Manager here at AfterShock Comics. Boy, oh boy, do we have a lot of comics to talk to you guys about. Welcome, everybody. Sith Lordy, good to see you. And we're ready to just jump right into a brand new #1 that comes out tomorrow for New Comic Book Day, which is Bunny Mask. We've been very stoked about this terrifying tale from Paul Tobin and the artist Andre Muti. You might recognize the artist. He's also on our Maniac of New York series as well. But this is all about Bunny Mask. So she's been sealed in a cave before the dawn of man. Then she gets released by a crazed madman, and she walks our world once again. But for what dark purpose is she here? And what will she use her unnatural powers for? And what is her connection to Bea Foster, a young girl murdered by her father 14 years ago? Well, you're just going to have to read this comic book to find out. Not only do we have an Instagram filter of Bunny Mask, but you got to look for this alternative Bunny Mask cover where it's a bunny mask that you can cut out and wear yourself. Though I would suggest collecting this and then purchasing a mask somewhere else. But each of the issues of the bunny mask features 24 pages of story and art with beautiful cardstock cover. So this is in shops for tomorrow, New Comic Book Day. Make sure you check it out. There are so many covers for this incredible title, and we're very stoked about it. And it's just so wonderfully creepy. And moving on to even more horror, I feel like that's just our theme this week is nothing but horror. We have Maniac of New York #5. So this is from writer Elliot Kalan and again Andre Muti as the artist. So the horrifying ride of the death train has come to its final stop, and Gina Green is now one of the most hated women in New York. And she's scapegoated for the blood on the city's hands and all those deaths of those people on that train. But life goes on, and no one has learned the right lesson, just as Maniac Harry rears his mask face again. But meanwhile, the little girl survivor, Lena, becomes obsessed with one clue that might lead to Harry's defeat. But will anyone believe her? Dun, dun, dun. So still, this is the final issue, the conclusion of this terrifying story of basically Jason in New York. So I highly suggest it. And Sith Lordy says, I make that some bunny mask expression after a 12-pack. I'm interested to see what bunny mask expression you make, and I'm a little terrified, not gonna lie. Moving on to last but not least, that's going to be available for tomorrow's New Comic Day, which is Baby Teeth #18. So this continues the conclusion of this incredible tale written by Donny Cates and artist Gary Brown. And the world is officially ending. There's all of the devil's babies all around that they're trying to protect. And it seems like the perfect time for a family reunion. This is a quote from James Ferguson of Horror Talk. Seriously, guys, just go buy this comic. Baby Teeth is consistently one of the best comics out there. I agree. I've absolutely loved the series. This is actually the first series I ever picked up from AfterShock Comics. So it's a perfect little perfect way to finish up this series with me on board with the team. And Daniel says, such a great read. Love Maniac New York. I'm so glad you liked it too. I'm usually not a horror fan, but this was extremely well written, and I had a great time reading this title as well. Sith Lordy says he'll be grabbing Maniac, of course. And Second Street Marvel says, enjoyed the finale of Maniac of New York. I'm glad you liked this finale. I'm pretty happy with the way it kind of tied everything together as well. So upcoming next for our live stream videos, we have another happy hour coming your way for the next Thursday on June 17th. I'm going to be chatting with the Beyond the Breach writer, Ed Brisson, and then also our managing editor, Christina Harrington. Yay! With, of course, as always, finishing up with a live sale of exclusive items that you can only get here on the AfterShock happy hour live sale. So really stoked to show those off to you as well. So in the spotlight coming up for amazing books is Kaiju Score Volume 1. So if you missed this title from James Patrick and Brem Brew, this is the perfect time to pick up all of it. This is picked up right away by Sony Pictures before the comic book even came out to be a movie. So we're really stoked about that. And what better title than something that's a mix of a Quentin Tarantino heist film mixed with a Godzilla movie? Like, why wouldn't those two things work out? We're excited to be working with James Patrick on some more titles coming up as well. And I can see Sith Lordy is excited for the happy hour. You guys have always been the best of joining with us during happy hour. We absolutely adore it. And Second Street still needs to read Baby Teeth. You got to catch up with those. It's you can catch up with any of it at any of your local comic book shop. We have all the volumes available, so that way you can catch right up and then jump right into this 18th issue coming out tomorrow. So back to Kaiju Score. So again, if you hadn't picked this up before, it is the most dangerous heist attempted ever. So 4 desperate criminals are going in a once-in-a-lifetime chance to steal millions of dollars worth of art and turn their miserable lives around. But the only catch is they have to pull it up under the nose of a 1,000-ton kaiju, or maybe even 2. You'll have to pick up this title to find out. And this will be in shops on June 16th, so it's coming quick. Also fast approaching is our new #1, Clans of Bellari. I like to call it, it's a mix of, it's very Space Odyssey style of Battlestar Galactica, but every single clan has a very specific union job that they do, and you can't be born out of it, kind of like Gattaca style. So this is going to be coming out on July 7th. So if you're looking for a new sci-fi epic, that's definitely the one to go to. And Sith Lordy says it's the year of the kaiju. Kaiju everywhere. It's true. I feel like with the 2020 year that we had, if there was kaiju that showed up, big old monsters, I would not have been surprised at that point. Also coming up for our fast approaching is Out of Body #2. So this is an incredible creepy title from Peter Milligan and the artist Inaki Miranda, who you might recognize him from our incredible We Live title that just has gone so well, and we're looking forward to the second arc coming soon. So this story, there's somewhere between life and death floats the truth as our main character, who's been nearly beaten to death, but not quite, and is only surviving off of life support, uses astral projection to be able to figure out who tried to murder him and how he can survive this. So that continues on with issue 2 on June 14th. So make sure to check that out. Also, we had a big announcement today. In case you missed it, we have a brand new title called Search for Who. And the copy of this reads, when he left the military, Aaron C's first thought was providing for his aging parents. His parents' bar is experiencing hard times, and one night it's shot to hell with his parents critically injured in the attack. But this was no ordinary robbery. Aaron's mother reveals that she fled China to escape a blood feud between the Jewish and the Chinese sides of her family, both of which are powerful organized crime families. Peace existed between these two families, the Hu and the Margolis, but now it's been broken, and Aaron must protect his parents from further violence. Aaron hops on a plane to the homeland he never intended to explore, on a path to revenge he never wanted to walk. So if any of these names familiar, we have John Sui of Sarah and the Royal Stars, Run, Love, Kill, and the one and only Steve Orlando. We work with him on a few things, you know. You might also know him from Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, Kill a Man, Project Patron, and so on. This is drawn by the artist sensation Rubine. Search for Who. It's a fast-paced, action-packed exploration of complex cultural histories powered by a bloody family feud, commencing in September. So we're really stoked about that. We have a few articles that have already been written about it, so we're very stoked that everybody else is on board as well. Just checking up with your comments here. So Sith Lordy says, Out of Body was dope. I tried to astral project after reading it, but alas, I went nowhere. I actually did a great interview with Peter Milligan, who he taught how he learned how to astral project, and he's still trying to this day that He basically chugs a glass of salt water and makes himself very, very dehydrated. And in one room, he puts a glass of water. In the other room, he tries to meditate and reach out to the glass of water without getting it. So maybe you can try that next time you read Out of Body as well. Um, so perfect. And then, gosh, we have so much to talk to you guys about. We're going to do for all of Pride Month, we're going to talk to you guys about some past titles that we've had that you can still pick up of all of our LGBTQ titles. So let's start off this week by mentioning Alters by Paul Jenkins and Layla Lees as the artist. This is a beautiful two trade paperback storyline about somebody who they haven't come out to their parents about being a transgender woman yet. And she also gains incredible mutant powers, which in this world are called alters. The only problem is that there is a group of very evil superpowered people that basically as soon as somebody's powers show up, they come and attack them. And unless they join their evil crew, they'll kill their entire family and then them. So it puts our main character in quite a difficult position in the middle of this ever-changing world with conflict. And also now there's another layer to her secret identity that her family doesn't even know. So I highly suggest you picking up this title about our first transgender superhero in our line of comics. So highly, highly recommend that. The artwork, I love Layla Lees. We've worked with her on several stuff like Horde, a couple other projects, and she's just absolutely beautiful. Highly suggest it. Speaking of Steve Orlando, our other book for Pride Month that we're focusing on this week is Kill a Man. If you haven't picked up this title, it's I would say one of the more groundbreaking titles that we've ever had, where it takes the LGBTQ community and the UFC fighter community and kind of brings it together. So this was brought to you by writer Steve Orlando, as well as Philip Kennedy Johnson, who does some has some history with fighting and the sport in general. So it was a perfect amalgam of the two of them together with artwork from Al Morgan, who you might know him from Midnighter, Daredevil, Battlestar Galactica, all this stuff. So this OGN is based on the story that as a child, James Belly watched his father die in the ring as payback for slurs he threw at his opponent. Today, James is a mixed martial artist himself and at the top of his game, one of the most popular fighters in the world until he gets outed as gay and loses his shot at the title during a press conference. So he has the only choice of anybody who would still rep him and train him is actually the gay man who ended up killing his father in the ring. So it's an incredible story, one that whether you're into martial arts or anything like that, it's a very powerful story. I highly, highly suggest it. And I'm just checking in, and Second Street Marvel says he has a signed issue of Alters. Excellent. I love everybody that was involved with that book, and I'm really stoked about that. Oh, and Second Street also got an AfterShock mystery box. Woot woot. That is awesome. That's actually one of my favorite things to sell at conventions. So I highly suggest these two books for you guys to pick up especially during Pride Month, but of course all year round. And let's jump in and check out some of the tweets that we have gotten from this week and last week. So let's start with this week's tweet from Paul Tobin. He says, the first issue of Bunny Mask by me and Andre Muti and Taylor Espo is out this week. And wow, completionist, we have an epic quest for you because we kind of had fun with the variants. We have so many variants for this, guys. And he says, I'd be seriously amazed if anybody managed to chase them all down. So as you can see from his tweet, he actually took pictures of all of the variants that we have for this title, which are quite a few. My favorite would probably be the Space Jam one, because as I was discussing with the producer, Stefan here, I am obsessed with Space Jam. I don't know about the sequel, but the first one, love it. Also from Andy Mack talking about, let's see, Out of Body #1 from last week. He says, absolutely love this from AfterShock Comics. It's my go-to comic for the week. Yes. Thank you, Andy. Check out my review below. So, Andy, thank you for not only loving the book, but then reviewing it. Definitely appreciate it. And last but not least of our tweets from the week is from Poet air. Out of Body is a psychedelic home run. Dan Collins investigated how he ended up in a vegetative state with the use of an experimental psychedelic, drawing him deeper into the world of the occult and closer to the white horizon. Peter Milligan is using master storytelling. So glad that you liked it well. I can't wait to have this series continue as well. And Second Street just brought up, got to get that Ambassador exclusive of Bunny Mask. Yes, you do. It's a beautiful variant and exclusive. And speaking of the AfterShock ambassador program, we are still looking for ambassadors both in Dallas and Portland, Oregon. So if you or somebody you know lives in those areas and they're a huge AfterShock fan, or you think they would really be a fan of AfterShock, send them our way. Make sure they apply for the survey, and I will reach out to them to have an interview. And then hopefully they'll get to work with me and all the other awesome people here at AfterShock Comics. Well, guys, it's always such a pleasure to do these live streams with you and talk about comic books. Super looking forward to next week when we have even more books to talk about, as well as the happy hour on June 17th. So please stay safe out there, everybody. Wash your hands, wear your masks, keep your distance, and only read dangerously. We'll talk to you all soon.